Hello, it's Friday night here in Oregon, and it's been a lovely day, and I got a chance to spend some time today working on my next large-scale figure, and it's going to be this 120 millimeter Amati English Civil War Pikeman. Some nice box art for it. Show you the other side. So it took me a good portion of the day to actually prep this model, and I'm gonna kind of show you some of the things that I had some issues with. See if we can get it into focus here a little bit. There we go. This is a resin model, and there was a lot of flash on this piece. The flash itself came off really easy. It was the resin blocks, for when they do the injection portion of it, that were a little difficult to actually take off of the model. So initially the torso here had a big block on the bottom part of it, which I ended up having to use a saw to actually take off because it was so thick. The helmet underneath here had a large piece that extended out to about here, and I ended up having to cut off with a pair of sprue cutters, and I got it as close to the helmet as possible, and then ended up sanding it down so that it stayed within the shape of the helmet, and then had to reduce that by sanding that down so that you didn't see the overhang from the injection part that was holding the helmet. One of the other issues I had with this, again, the handle for the sword had an injection piece here, and when I started to kind of cut into this to take this out, piece of the sword pommel, I believe, I think that's what they call it, broke, and it shot off into my room someplace and is lost in the carpet forever, or at least until I vacuum, whichever comes first. I would have glued that back on because it was obviously a very clean break, as you can see here, but did not. I have no idea where it is. It just ricocheted off into the room somewhere. One of the other issues I have, and I'm going to tilt the camera down real quick so you can see this. Again, both of the lower part of the legs came as separate pieces, and they both had injection molding blocks on the bottoms of their feet. And again, in the process of cutting it off, this foot split in half, and I lost the front part of his foot. And I was able to find that and glue that back on, so that wasn't such a big deal. But again, kind of a pain in the neck. One of the other things, the hands came separate from this, so I actually had to put them on and the arms were separate. So trying to adjust the arm and the hand to where the sword hilt was a bit of a pain. Just trying to get that angle the right way. And I'm going to show you this arm, which is even worse. I'm going to pan up on this a little bit just so you can see the pipe that's on this thing. Now I'm all for, realistic pieces for the models and all that kind of stuff. That's not a problem. But the way the pike is made, this is a plastic tube. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back. I got interrupted by my daughter. So where was I? Oh yeah, the pike. So the white part of the pike here is all made out of a plastic tube, and it comes in 3 sections. There's the section that was up there towards the tip to here, and then this was another section, and then there was a bottom section, which all had to be cut to a specific length according to the instructions, which I did. And the tube is hollow, and then in order to attach the tube to themselves, they gave you this little wooden dowel that didn't fit into the pike. So according to the instructions, they said to sand down the wooden dowel so it would have fit. So I did that. Eventually ended up, after several minutes of sanding, getting it to a size that I was able to actually put it into. This piece here is plastic molded to the hand. And I ended up having to scrape down the pin a little bit that was in here to make it fit within the plastic here. The other issue is that this whole piece right here is one arm. There's one section. The hand with the pike on it is separate from this. Being able to adjust this hand to his wrist so that the pike actually rests on the ground like it's supposed to was extremely difficult. I had a hard time. This took me the longest amount of time trying to get all of this adjusted so that it looked right. It was just I ended up having to hold with one hand the shoulder together in a position so that I can get the hand glued on so that it was actually resting on the base. Here. Glue that. Hold that in place so that the glue set enough so that I can actually put the piece down to let it cure. And then once I finally got that together, You'll notice there's a bit of a gap. If I can get it to focus again. Sorry about that. You'll notice there's a bit of a gap here where the shoulder doesn't fit exactly right. So I'll have to fill that with a little putty or something, I guess. Overall, this looks like this should be a really, really fun piece to paint. The facial sculpt is very, very well done. The rest of it is beautiful. We'll just have to see how things go. Hopefully, the primer will stick to the plastic for this, and it doesn't become too much of a pain in the neck while I'm actually trying to paint it. But we'll see what happens. But so this is my new project, my new large-scale figure that I'm going to work on. So I just thought I'd show you guys some of the things about it in case you were interested and were looking forward to maybe purchasing it or something, so you knew what you were getting into. That's all I have. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.